I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I placed a substantially sized order on the Sephora website for some of the new. So I'll start off with the Perfectionist Lip Pencil from Melt Cosmetics. They call it the Ultra Precision Pencil. So these are new lip liners from Melt Cosmetics, and I got the shade Bare, and there is a total of 0.04 ounces of product in here, and it's made in the Czech Republic. And I was trying to think like that this pencil reminded me of something else in my collection, and then the light bulb kind of came on and I was like, aha, it's the Wayne Goss lip pencils that this pencil reminds me of, and those are also made in the Czech Republic, so I found that really interesting. So this is the shade Bare, and it's actually the lip liner that I have on my lips today, and it is a wooden style sharpening pencil, and this is just a really easy to wear kind of warm mid-tone brown shade. And that is the shade Bare. I've been wearing it all week for the most part. Sometimes I find that I have to warm it up just a little bit if I haven't freshly sharpened it, but otherwise I really like the wear time. That is the new Melt Perfectionist Lip Pencil Ultra Precision in the shade Bare, and again, that's what I have on my lips today. I also really wanted to try the new Too Faced Brow Wig Brush on Hair Fluffy Brow Gel. This guy's got 0.19 fluid ounces of product, and I got the shade in medium brown, and it is made in Italy. So this is the packaging right here, and I do have this through my brows right now. Lately I've been putting a bit of brow powder in to kind of get them more defined, and then just going over them with one coat of brow gel, and I've really been enjoying that effect lately. So I've got some Dior brow powder in my brows today. It's this little guy right here, which I tried to find it online and I don't think that they make this product anymore, but it's the Backstage Brow Palette, and I have 001 Light. I've got that on with this brow gel. So again, the medium brow shade, and this like gel has got quite a few little hairs on it. I hope that I can, yeah, you could, I think you can see it on camera there. Look at all the little fibers that are in there. So there's the shade right there, and the brush is a triangular shape, so it's got like 3 sides to it, and I was really surprised at how soft my brows feel with this on, but they still look kind of fluffy. I think that if I'd gone over it with maybe 2 or 3 coats and used it by itself, they'd really get like bushy or whatever, but I just went over my brows today with 1 coat, and it doesn't have a ton of hold to it, this one. It's more of a soft, fluffy type of a brow gel. And again, that's what I have in my brows today with that Dior. I like it so far. I'm yet to try it by itself to see what kind of fluff and color I can get out of it, but with the brow powder, I think it does look nice. So that is a new one from Too Faced. If you're looking for a ton of hold, this one is not going to do the job, I don't think. I also picked up 2 of the new Nars palettes from their holiday collection. So I got the Unwrapped Mini Eyeshadow Palette in the shade Laguna. So they came out with 3 of these in this newer style packaging. I need to get the other 6-pan one that I have and compare it, because I think that the shades in the original little tiny mini palette are the same as one of the ones in this collection, but I need to check on that first. But I got the one in Laguna, and so this has got 0.02 ounces of product times 6 shades, which is not a lot of product that you're getting for shadow, but this is a little tiny palette. It's a really little guy that'll be super travel friendly. And this guy is made in Canada. So this is the box packaging. And again, I got the shade Laguna with the red front on it. And then here are your shades. There are 2 matte eyeshadows, which are these guys right here. And then these ones are shimmer shades. So these 2 have like the sparkle shimmer, and then these 2 are more like metallic, like smoother metallic shimmers. I wore this yesterday, and there's something about some of these Nars palettes that just give this grungy, like rock and roll type of eye look, and that's how I felt about this one. I really liked the look that came out of it. It was very, very pretty in any event. Almost, I want to say like some of the shades looked a little bit muddy, like the mattes, but muddy in a good way, like a grungy type of a way, and I just really enjoyed it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I do really like this little eyeshadow palette. Again, the look was super pretty. I liked it so much that I thought, geez, there's only 0.02 ounces of product in here, like, am I gonna use it up right away? And then you're like, no, Tara, you're probably not. Anyway, here are the first 4 shades right here. Kind of reminded me of those summer palettes that Nars did a while back with some of their eye shades. Just really like hot, grungy, pretty. Like it reminded me of like a warm summer day. I think you guys remember which palettes I'm talking about, but we'll get these guys. And I mean, they're neutral shades, so it's not like it's nothing we've never seen before or anything like that, but you know, all the shades together look super pretty. I think there was only one shade that I didn't use, and that was this guy right here when I did the look. But anyway, that is the Laguna Unwrapped Mini Eyeshadow Palette right there from Nars. And then I also had to have the Nars High Profile Cheek Palette, and this has got 0.1 ounces of product times 6. And this guy, did I say the name of this? It's the High Profile Cheek Palette, okay. And of course it's made in Italy because these are baked gelée cheek products. So here's the box packaging. I think it's super fun, kind of how they did this. The texture on this one's a little bit more 3D compared to the little mini eyeshadow palette. And from what I can tell, these are all new shades. And I really do like this palette. I mixed these two bronzers mostly kind of back and forth, and then dabbed a little bit of this gold in there to bronze up my face today because that is too deep for me for a highlighter, but I'm able to make it work. And then this shade right here has got quite a bit of red in it. So it just, I feel like it gave my skin a really nice, almost like sunburnt bronze look to it. And then I mixed just a dash of this blush in with the majority of this blush, and that is what I have for bronzer and blush on my face today. And I, as you guys know, love a baked jelly product. You do have to use a little bit more firmer, stiff brush to pick up a product like this. So like I was using, what brush is this? This is a Chikuhodo T3 brush, so it's a little bit more densely packed. And it picks up these really nice. So let's go ahead and give you guys some swatches. And then I will show it next to two other Nars palettes that also are baked jelly, so you guys can see the difference between some of the older ones and this one. And then these two. So again, they're real, I don't know, these really remind me of like a summer type of a vibe more than anything, but I do really like this guy here. And then I will show it next to the Orgasm on the Beach palette, which, I mean, these two palettes that I'm going to show it next to are similar to the shades in here too. So if you have one of these other ones, I mean, I don't think there's a ton, like a whole bunch of difference where you have to have this one, but I like all the things that are baked jelly, and I mean, we can never have too many Nars cheek palettes. So here is the Orgasm on the Beach right here in the rose gold packaging next to the High Profile Cheek Palette for holiday. And then here it is next to the Exposed Cheek Palette, which came out, I want to say 3 years ago or so. And again, there are some similar shades in there too, but I don't think any of them are like exact. And the shade names are different too, so just for reference. So that guy is the new High Profile cheek palette right there from Nars. I also picked up the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette. They came out with two different variations of this, and there were some blushes in the other palette that look super pretty too. But I do get along well with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting formula. So I got the Ambient Lighting Edit in the shade Universe, and the packaging on this is super pretty. This one here is much more weighted than the ones in the past. It's like heavier, and it's like a metal packaging as opposed to a plastic. So this one here is made in Italy, and there's 0.04 ounces times 4. So the blush and bronzer shades are 0.04 ounces, and then the one finishing powder is 0.14 ounces or 4 grams. And then I think that there are 4 of the 5 shades in here are new shades from Hourglass. So this is the box packaging. And then here is the actual packaging. It's got that marbled look to it, but yeah, this is so much heavier than their older like face palettes like this. So we will open her up here. I do find it a little difficult to open. There's a mirror in there, and then you've got your face powder, 2 blushes. I think that they're calling this like a strobe powder highlight. It doesn't work for me as a highlight. It's just really, really subtle. So I mix it in with the blushes, and then there's the bronzer up there. I did use the face powder to finish my face when I used this palette, and the bronzer and blushes are really beautiful. Like I said, I can use that highlight to kind of mix in with the other products for more luminosity. But it looked really pretty on the skin. I just pulled in a different highlighter because this just wasn't doing it for me in the highlight area. But for what it's worth, I will give some swatches. I used to use an ambient lighting powder every day when I wasn't using the Guerlain Meteorites. But these powders are a little bit more drying than the Meteorites, so I hadn't used the finishing powders for quite a while because I do have a drier skin type, and as I get older it gets even drier. And then we'll swatch this guy here. I left the Nars ones up just to kind of compare so you guys can see the difference in pigmentation and tones between these two palettes if you were curious. But that is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit in Universe right there. And then Clinique came out with new shades of their Cheek Pop blushes, which I have every single shade in their original launch of the Cheek Pop blushes, but these are baked jelly products as well, and some of my favorite blushes in my collection. It's that same style of formulation like the Nars palette that I just showed you guys. So these ones are called the Pearl, the Cheek Pop Pearl. So there's a little bit more shimmer in these ones compared to the original ones. And I picked up 4 shades. There are 5 shades, but the 5th shade is available on the Clinique website. So I probably have to place an order on the Clinique website to get that one, but these are the 4 that they had on the Sephora website. So there's 0.12 ounces of product in each one of these, and let me guess, made in Italy, right? Yes, they are made in Italy. So this is the box packaging for them. And then this first shade is 06 Garnet Pop, which is kind of a berry shade with the shimmer in it. Again, you do have to use a little bit more stiff brush with these type of products. But look at how pretty that is. You can see that the added like luminosity in these ones compared to the old ones. There's more shimmer to them, which is right up my alley. And then we have got the number 2 shade in Topaz Pop right here. Now that I think about it, if this is number 6, maybe there's 2 more shades. I have to do some research on that. So here's Topaz Pop, which is kind of a terracotta shade. Again, a really beautiful color there. That's Topaz Pop. And then we've got number 5, Ruby Pop, which this is beautiful. It's kind of a warm pink right there. So there's Ruby Pop. And then the 4th one is a lighter nude with a bit of a peachiness to it. And this is number 1 in Opal Pop right here. It's a lighter peachy kind of nude shade. And I just think they're so pretty. Again, the baked jelly products are some of my favorite. The way that they sit on the skin is just really, really beautiful. So I love that they came out with more of these Cheek Pop blushes in a more kind of shimmer pearl formulation. And then for whatever reason, I was really drawn towards this Benefit Hoola Glow in the jumbo size. It just looked really pretty. So there's a ton of product in here, 0.56 ounces or 16 grams of bronzer in here. And it comes in cardboard packaging that flips up. There's actually a really nice soft brush in here that I think is very functional to kind of contour and put on bronzer. It's big and it's really soft and it's a kind of a natural bristle to it. So it's going to pick the product. It's going to pick up more product than a synthetic. And this powder is really pigmented. So if you do use this brush with it, I'd be a little bit careful about how much pressure you put in the product. Because again, this is really pigmented. There's a little cover there. And then it says in here, Hoola Glow. So when I first looked at it, it didn't look like it was going to go on that intense. And then so I put my brush in there and then went to put it on my face and I was like, whoa, that's got a lot of pigment to it. Luckily, I was able to blend it out really nice. It does have a bit of a shimmer to it as well. It's not a flat matte, but blended out, it looked really pretty. It is warmer than something like the Gucci bronzer. I will actually grab the Gucci bronzer. I think it's a good reference because that is one of my favorite bronzers in my collection. So that I can show them next to each other so you can see the tones. But I do like the bronzer. It looked really pretty. It blended out nice. The shimmer that's in it isn't over like too much for a bronzer either. It just looked really nice on the skin. And then here's the Gucci. I just want to show it next to the Hoola for reference again. You can see there just how much cooler the Gucci one is compared to the Hoola. The Hoola is deeper too. It's a little bit more of a rich bronzer, but that is the Hoola Glow from Benefit in the jumbo size right there. And then I picked up one of the new LYS Beauty Aim High Pressed Highlight Powders. So based off of what I could tell online, this is the lightest shade out of the three. So I got Brave, which they're calling a champagne. And then here is the box packaging for it. This is made in Taiwan, and there's a total of 0.23 ounces of product, or 6.5 grams. It's a vegan and gluten-free powder as well. The only other product that I tried from LYS Beauty is their bronzer, and it's a very nice formula. So I thought I'd give this guy a try. It looks super pretty in the swatches. Again, it's the champagne shade. They're calling it Brave. So when I went to use this, I just wanted to use it by itself, you know, all over the face. And when I put it on, I instantly knew it was too dark for my skin tone, but I still tried to make it work and kind of blend it out and buff it in. But I had a really hard time getting this formula to stick to my drier skin type. So if I want that kind of higher shine from it, I'm going to have to put it on something tacky, because it didn't go over like my set face very well. It just wouldn't adhere. It was really kind of dull looking. So I was kind of sad about that. And then on top of it, it's just too dark for me. So I'll go ahead and give you a swatch here. You can just see how deep it is. See, it's got a really pretty shine to it. But I couldn't get it to look like this on my skin unless I put it over something that was tacky, or kind of use like a Super Shock base or something like that. And then too, over a more tackiness, it actually deepens up even more on my skin tone. So unfortunately, this guy just is not going to work for me. But I mean, the sheen does look quite nice when it goes on the skin. So that is from LYS Beauty, and it's the Aim High Pressed Highlight Powder in the shade Brave. And then I finally cracked my last jar of the Belif True Cream Moisturizing Balm that I purchased back in April. I kind of stocked up on the big tubs. So I opened my last one of those, so I got another one of the large size in the 3.3 fluid ounce tubs. Not the Aqua Balm, this is the Moisturizing Balm. It's my every night moisturizer that I put all over my face as my very last step that I do before I go to bed. So it just comes in a giant jar, and the larger jars always have these little fun little guys on the top. And if I can, I like to get the larger sizes because you get a little bit more bang for your buck. You get more product for a little less money when you get the larger ones. So I did go ahead and get this guy, and I do plan on stocking up on a couple more of those, hopefully when the sale comes. I think it's coming up here soon, like maybe November is what I think it is November. So I got another one of those, and then I also saw that Belif came out with the Aqua Balm Overnight Lip Mask, and I'm such a fan of the Belif balm products that I had to give this a try. And this comes with a lot of product too. There's 0.7 ounces of product in here. So this is the box packaging on this one, and it comes in the same style as the moisturizing balm with the lid and stuff like that. So this is like a thicker kind of lip product. Let me get the little stopper off so you guys can see it. But it's really smooth on the lips, and I've been using it for the past week, and I've really been enjoying it. It's starting to get a little bit colder here, and I'll be able to tell for sure if it's like a ride or die product for me when it gets around December, January, when it's really cold. But right now I can put it on by itself and wake up with my lips feeling really nice. There's not too many lip products that I can put on before bedtime and still feel the hydration from them in the morning time, if that makes sense. Paula's Choice, their lip and body balm, is one of my ride or die lip products, but I'm really excited about this one because it just feels so nice. And I think there is a little, let me see. Yeah, there's a little tiny bit of a scent to it, but it's very, very subtle. So that is the Belif Aqua Balm Overnight Lip Mask. And again, so far so good on that guy. And the Belif products are a Korean skincare brand. I also purchased the new Urban Decay eyeshadow palette, the Marvel Eternals palette. This is the box packaging. I am not one for the Marvels things. I don't know a lot about it. I don't watch like all the movies or anything like that, but this for me was like a throwback to the Book of Shadows, which gave me nostalgia. And I do like to purchase these type of products, so I did go ahead and pick it up regardless of the fact that I don't know a whole lot about the Marvel comic stuff and movies. So there are 15 shades in here. There are 0.03 ounces per shade, a little bit small in terms of the amount of product that you're getting. And then it is made in the USA and or imported ingredients. So here's the actual packaging. It is a cardboard packaging, and then you open it up and it's got inspire greatness across the universe with this 3D situation. I have no idea what it means. And then you have a little lip right here that you flip open. It's a little hard to grab onto, I think, but here is the eyeshadow layout right here. So it kind of has this lip in between there. And then there's the back of the packaging. Oh gosh, I just stuck my finger in that one. Son of a gun. So there are some really pretty shades in here. I would say there are 7 mattes, even though 3 of those shades are like those sequin shades where the base is matte and it's got the little sparkles in there. I just consider them matte eyeshadows because the sparkle in them is really subtle. You can barely see it unless you pack it over like something super tacky. Otherwise, all the other shades in here are kind of shimmers. And I think that the formulation of these is nice. The mattes are a little bit thin. I had to kind of build and blend and layer those to get them to blend out nicely. And again, the shimmers are pretty, but I just always think like how intense and pretty and special and multi-dimensional like shadows are nowadays. Like some of even the Beauty Bay palettes and the Be Perfect palettes that I have, their shades are so multi-dimensional and stuff like that, that when I go to something like this, it's just really lackluster. It's like I've seen this before. The formula is nothing to like write home about or anything like that. They're nice eyeshadows, they're pretty and stuff like that, but I expect Urban Decay to up it by now because eyeshadows have made leaps and bounds from years past, and these remind me more of older Urban Decay shadows than they do of newer innovative shadows that are out now, if that makes any sense. But again, not everybody likes that type of intensity, that type of shimmer or anything like that. Maybe you just are looking for something neutral with a couple pops without being too much. That's kind of how I would explain this palette right here. So let's give you some swatches, and hopefully you can see from those whether or not it's something that you would like. It's still fun though. I still get feels from the Urban Decay. I wanted to get their ultraviolet palette, but it's not like released on the Sephora website yet, or it's like coming soon or whatever. And this shade is a black with golden like sequin sparkles in it. Oh. Yeah, so I did like the look that came out of it. You know, it was pretty and stuff like that, but nothing special. And then these guys. And then I was so excited for this shade right here, so I packed it on the lid, and it was just a little lackluster compared to kind of what it looked like in the pan there. I was expecting a little more punch from that guy. But those are the swatches right there of the Urban Decay Eternals eyeshadow palette. And then I also got the new McGrath Labs Mothership Mega Palette in Celestial Odyssey. So this is from her holiday collection. This is what the box packaging looks like. Very pretty as per usual. It says made in USA of US and imported ingredients on the back of here. It has got 18 eyeshadows for a total of 0.69 ounces of product, or 19.8 grams, which averages out to be 0.038 ounces, almost 0.04 ounces. So kind of mid-range in terms of the amount of product that you're getting. I love that the pretty imagery carries over to the actual packaging. So this is a cardboard packaging, and then it opens up with a magnetic closure and has the little bands on the side that hold it kind of from going all the way back. I actually would have preferred the bands not to be there so that I could flip it back and it makes it easier to hold. I guess I could just cut them, but I'm not going to do that. And then here are your eyeshadows. So this palette does not have any of her special shades that, like, there's usually a little quadrant of 4 in her larger palettes or something like that. Those are baked gelée shadows. Typically, these are all more standard eyeshadows, but the quality on these is very, very nice. This is actually the palette that I have on my eyes today. It's a standalone palette for me. Some of these shimmer shades are just absolutely stunning, and the mattes blend out beautifully and have nice pigmentation to them. I will say I get a little bit more fallout with the deeper mattes than I would like, but they, again, blend out and are very pigmented. If you were looking for, again, the special shades from Pat McGrath, there aren't any of those in here. So let's go ahead and give you guys some swatches. The background on this is a harder type of a plastic, and then the casing is the cardboard. So let me point out the mattes too, because there are 4 mattes in here, which I do think that they picked really nice mattes for the ones that are in here. But they're very much in line with Pat McGrath matte eyeshadows, like the tones. These are probably dupable in some of her other palettes, is kind of what I'm saying. She didn't steer far from the matte color range in there. So there's this one, this guy. I'm swatching these out of order, totally. And then this guy. So these are the 4 matte eyeshadows that are in here, and I've got these 3 on my crease and blended upwards today. So you can, you know, right off the bat, you can see the pigmentation in those. Then we'll do these 4. This one here kind of has a, well, it kind of has a matte base, but there's so much infused sparkle in it that I wouldn't necessarily say it's like the sequin shadow either. You know, but it's not like this formulation though either. So I don't know if that made any sense. Very pretty though. Look at the, I'll get a better. Very pretty. And then we've got these ones. This shade is stunning too. There are quite a, oop, I almost pushed a little too hard. That's a lot softer than I thought it was going to be for a swatch. Oof. The shine. And then we've got this bottom row, which is all shimmer or metallic. This color is stunning. I love that rusty orange shade. And then these last 2 shades here. Fit them on here. Yes. But yeah, just some really beautiful metallic shades in this palette right here. Very happy with the quality, and I'm glad that it's a standalone for me, so I can just pull this and get all kinds of different looks out of it. But yeah, see the mattes there? Very, very on par with Pat McGrath. So that is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Mega in Celestial Odyssey. And then the shades are on the back. And then lastly, Wayne Goss and Beautylish sent me over his latest collection. He came out with another one of his luxury eye palettes, and they're calling this one the Tourmaline eyeshadow palette. So it comes in the silver packaging here. And this guy here, it's kind of hard to read with this reflectiveness, but there's 0.57 ounces of product in here. So there are 6 shades of eyeshadow, and that's just a whole lot of eyeshadow. You're getting a ton of product in there, and it is made in the USA, and it comes in his same style of packaging as the other 3. It's numbered 1 through 6 on the back right there. And then here is your color story. This really gives me like Tom Ford Body Heat vibes, or kind of like how I was explaining those Nars palettes that came out in the summer, like a real, like, I don't know, there's like a warmth, a grungy warmth to them that I just absolutely love. That's kind of the tones of these shadows. They're very, very pretty. The kind of topper shade that's in here is a little bit more stiff. And again, they're more that topper shade. But when I use these shadows, I use a flat shader, like a stiffer flat shader. And I really pick up a ton of product and pack it directly over primer, because I like to use it by itself. So it's like extra shimmery on the lid. So I don't typically go over a shadow that I already put down with that. I like to put it thicker directly over a primer and I pick up a lot of product with that flat shader like that. Otherwise, these shades are a little bit more, you know, stiff in the pen, and they're kind of like a topper type of shadow. His Pearl Moonstone eyeshadow palette, the blues, is legitimately one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes in my entire collection. It's one of the prettiest, easiest to wear blue smoky eyeshadow palettes. I've got like some serious dents in that one, but that's kind of how I would explain his eyeshadow palettes in general, is they're just really pretty, really easy to wear eyeshadow palettes. I don't think that like when you use them, you have to worry about anything being too much, but it still looks really pretty, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you guys some swatches so you can hopefully see whether or not this is something that you would like to pick up. And then I'm going to hold it next to his other palettes in the range as well, just so you guys can see the palettes next to each other in there. And I do get along with his formulation really well. They pick up and they blend out. I don't get a ton of follow-up from them. I think that the quality is really nice. Some people I think may be thrown off by the topper shade because again it is more stiffly pressed in the pan. And I use a stiffer brush with that guy because I like to get that maximum kind of luminosity out of it. And I don't use it as a topper. I like to use it by itself. So there are the swatches right there of his new Tourmaline eyeshadow palette. And it's a really pretty one, very easy to wear eyeshadow palette. And then let me show it next to his others. So here it is next to Pearl Moonstone, which I absolutely adore. And then here it is next to his Pearl eyeshadow palette, which is a softer, kind of more natural one. And then here it is next to the very first one that he did in Imperial Topaz. Yeah, there's something about, I don't know, something about his palettes that just kind of, they bring me joy. And then he came out with 2 of his Essential Eye Kohl pencils, and these shades are super, super pretty. So I would liken these most to like a smoky or like a smudge out pencil, or either as a base for other shadows to really add that dimension. Because on me, like for the waterline and stuff, they don't last quite as long, but they go on really smoothly on the skin, and they have like, again, this smudginess about them that smokes out shadow. So there's the Tiger's Eye, the Essential Eye Kohl pencil with it, which is a kind of a shimmery type of a brown shade right there. And then the other one is called the Copper Flame, and this has got a reddened undertone to it right there. Just like really pretty eyeliner shades that would go well with this right here. And I haven't done it, but I think that some of these shades are even like that topper shade would probably go over this smudged out pencil really well too. It kind of had some really pretty dimension to it. My mom really likes to use a Kohl pencil as an eyeliner, so I like to let her use the Wayne Goss eye pencils. But those 2 shades really go with that eyeshadow palette, super pretty. And as always, a huge thank you to Wayne Goss and Beautylish for sending over his latest launch. And that is everything that I have for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.